everyone! It's Labor Day long weekend and we've decided to take on Mount Kinabalu, the highest peak in Malaysia. To be honest, I'm not the most outdoorsy person and I'm definitely not chasing after the world's tallest peaks. But Mount Kinabalu has always been in the back of my mind. Growing up in Southeast Asia, it's just one of those mountains you keep hearing about. Everyone seems to know someone who's climbed it before, so I thought, how hard could it be? And just like that, the six of us set off, excited and not quite aware of the challenges that lay ahead.
Waktu sekarang adalah 12:21 minit tengah hari. Bagi tujuan keselamatan anda meminta untuk
The day before our climb, we arrived in Sabah and made our way to Kondasan, where we will stay overnight near the Kinabalu Park HQ, which is the starting point of the hike. This way we could avoid the extra early wake up the following morning. On the drive up, however, the weather took a turn. Heavy rain started pouring and our chartered van, an older, slightly beat up vehicle, began leaking. A few raindrops found their way onto us and we couldn't help but laugh at the ridiculousness of the situation. We had deliberately chosen May, expecting dry weather since it's typically the dry season, but luck clearly wasn't on our side. Fortunately, after a few hours, the rain finally let up and things were starting to look up again for us. The next morning greeted us with clear skies. Well, mostly. It was a bit cloudy, but honestly, as long as it wasn't raining, we were more than happy. We first gathered at Kinabalu Park HQ to collect our hiking tags and pack lunch. This is also the place to store your luggage, rent hiking poles, or hire porters if you need.
We have 3 hirings. But today you got 2. Just remember our name. Because it's mountain actually we don't have 2 checkpoints.
Our spirits were high, although we were among the last groups to be sent off to Tin Pohong Gate, the official entry and checkpoint for climbers ascending Mount Kinabalu. And off we go, our hike officially begins.
How are you feeling? Excited? 现在几点？9:45. Let's go, girl.
We were feeling calm and unbothered, glad we didn't have to worry about holding up anyone behind us. In hindsight, maybe we were a little too relaxed.
来到了第一个休息点。Good job. 1 kilometer. 采访一下，感觉如何？前1公里，我们在健身房爬的那些楼梯，难道都没有用吗？不轻松，但没有到累。又是一个非常非常长的阶梯。
The trail was well maintained, mostly made up of staircases, just as we had read about and trained for with weekly stair climbing sessions. To give you an idea of my fitness level, I can comfortably do 30 minutes on the gym stair machine at level 5 without trouble, so I figured my stamina was decent, at least compared to the average person. Looking back, I think part of the reason why I signed up for this climb was to gauge myself, to find out where I actually stand. Have all those gym sessions made a difference to my body? Am I considered fit, just average, or maybe not as strong as I thought? And I guess that's also one common reason why people climb mountains like this, to learn more about themselves, understand their limits, and how far further they can push themselves.
这是第2个 hut， 看 家的状态，感觉都还行，除了 CTR 已经失焦了。
As for us, the first 4 kilometers were tiring, but definitely manageable. Our guide kept a slow, steady pace that suited us just fine. The trail was shrouded in mist, with ferns and fog lining the path, mysterious but quietly beautiful. The air was cool and the towering trees offered shelter from the sun. It was peaceful, almost relaxing with our slow pace.
Say hi.
There is until it started raining on us around the 3.5 kilometer mark. We threw on our raincoats but still ended up soaked and messy. Along the way, hikers passing us on their way down kept offering the same warning. The last 2 kilometers is the hardest, and they were absolutely right. As it turns out, rocky slopes are far worse than stairs. I was so grateful we all had shoes with good solid grip. Without them, it could have been dangerous. It was also around this point that reality sank in. I had utterly underestimated the mountain. The once abstract numbers, an 8-kilometer trail rising to 4,095 meters, now unfolded as a slow, aching truth with every step I took.
这是我们到住宿前的最后一个500米 hot。一个非常大的雨。看看大家的状态，
我很精神，
感觉都还可以。
我一点都不累。
感觉回光返照啊！你刚才。
Those last 2 kilometers on the first day felt endless. The rocky terrain kept coming, the rain kept falling, and the trail had gone quiet as we were among the last hikers still making our way up. By then, I was also mentally drained. The only thing that kept me going was counting my steps. 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 1, 2, 3. Just to distract myself from how much further we had to go.
最难走的路，最大的雨，大家都呀。
Eventually, finally, we made it to Kinabalu.
看到希望的曙光了！哇，这个雾，我的个天哪！大家都超狼狈，我没有看过其他人的 vlog 是这么恶劣的天气爬神山。哇！
The Laban base camp offers climbers a place to rest and refuel before the final push to the summit. Those attempting the Via Ferrata stay at Padan huts where they attended briefings and prepared for an earlier start the next morning.
这是我们今天晚上要住的房间是4、6、8、10、12人间。
The rest of us following the standard route stayed at the Laban Rata rest house. The accommodations were basic. There were no hot showers, so we skipped the bath. Laban Rata is also home to the base camp's only restaurant. And to our surprise, dinner was genuinely satisfying. It's buffet style with plenty of variety of meat and cups, just what we needed to recharge after a long day's climb. Then, after dinner, something magical happened. The rain that had dogged us all afternoon finally lifted, A golden light spilled across the horizon, painting the mountains in warm hues. And as if nature wants to reward our efforts even more, we even saw some rainbows.
彩虹，虽然刚刚整个下午都非常辛苦，但现在可以看到好看的风景，一下都来劲儿了。
Lights went out at 8. We were exhausted but barely slept. At 1:30 a.m. we woke up groggily for a quick supper before beginning our summit push at 2:40 a.m. The trail was pitch dark. Our headlamps are the only light guiding the way. As most groups started around the same time, the path was crowded, forming a slow-moving river of hikers climbing step after step. Not long after the final checkpoint at Sayat, the stairs gave way to bare granite. The incline steepened and at some sections we had to use both our hands and feet, gripping onto ropes to pull ourselves upward. The good news was that the weather was perfect. There was no rain and it was not biting cold. The day earlier, we had been worried that the rain might persist and force a trail closure. Midway up, we caught the sunrise and it was glorious. The upper slopes of Mount Kinabalu are covered in sweeping expanses of exposed granite, smooth and vast, carved by time and the forces of nature. Against this surreal backdrop, the silhouettes of fellow climbers dotted the landscape, tiny figures inching our way toward the summit, like ants across a stone giant's back. Since there's only one route up and down, we eventually bumped into the Via Rata friends and managed a semi-group photo at the summit, tired, wind down, but smiling.
现在是5点50分，看已经差不多完全出来了。 还有一点点就到顶了，看大家都在坚持爬完最后一段，真的太不容易了。这个石子的坡真的很难爬啊！加油！我的天！突然看到大家在那个 尖尖上面，就是这个尖尖上面都是人，天哪，还要爬这么远，救命啊！ Last 100。
Hello， 7点了已经。
我们终于到顶了，2点半爬到7点。
At Low's Peak, the highest point of Mount Kinabalu, climbers line up eagerly for the classic shot with the signboard.
Yeah, 我们现在终于要下山了。在我身后就是100马币的那个山峰 ，right？ 对。 在等一个小伙伴上厕所。
这半天是了解。
哪有？他在上厕所。然后我觉得爬上来真的还蛮辛苦的，尤其是最后就是爬楼梯很辛苦，然后没有楼梯其实也很辛苦，因为它就是一个石头的斜坡，非常考验你的小腿肌肉。但爬上去之后，你就觉得很有成就感。Yeah, is it worth it? 有快乐吗？没有什么快乐。其实昨天没有那么辛苦，除了最后的1公里，因为那个时候已经很累了。Finish? OK， 小伙伴 ，finish 了，我们要走了。希望赶得上我们的早餐。
We assumed the descent would be easier, but it wasn't. My lungs and heart held up fine, but my knees took a beating with every step. We moved slower than expected and ended up missing the 10:30 a.m. cut-off time for breakfast and checkout. That meant buying our own breakfast, and trust me, everything on the mountain was pretty pricey. Thankfully, we weren't charged a hefty fine for the late checkout.
我们现在吃完算早饭吧，然后准备要下山了。向导说，如果慢的话，应该要6个小时左右 ，which is probably our speeder。今天天气真的超级好，今天爬的人真是太幸运了。Hello friends, are you ready? Maybe.
For me, the hardest part of the entire hike was the final descent back to the starting point. Going up was exhausting, but coming down felt like pure torture. My knees were in agony, every step sent sharp pain shooting through them. My toes were bruised and the impact was relentless. I regretted not taking painkillers or wearing knee guards. I mean, what was I thinking? The last 3 kilometers felt never-ending. I kept asking myself, why do people willingly go through this over and over again? This mountain is no walk in the park for most people, so why choose something so challenging and punishing?
最后2公里了，我的膝盖真的是快撑不住了，好累哦，这个真的是地狱级别的爬山现在看起来有一点点的阴森，因为已经很晚了，我们终于要走到出口了，因为我们看到了这个瀑布。Really dark, can't really see, but we are near the exit.
I think I get it now. The climb felt brutal because I wasn't strong enough, but that's what made the reward feel so deeply earned. I'm honestly amazed I made it. I'm amazed that everyone in our group made it. Once the muscle aches faded and I caught my breath, I found myself wanting to do it again, maybe a gentler mountain next time. Also, the climb has become more than just a challenge. It becomes a memory you carry long after the pain is gone. 3 weeks on, I no longer remember the pain and the soreness. What I do remember is the time spent with friends, the breathtaking views we would never have seen without the effort, the lucky breaks and the unlucky ones too. Funny how the struggle made even the smallest joys feel brighter and more vivid. So yes, I get why people say mountain climbing is satisfying. Not just because you reach the top, which is of course very important, but also because of everything that happened on the way there.
Mary.
Jom Mari.
What's Joe?
Jom.
Jom.
Jom, let's go.
Oh. Joe Mary. 波类。可以是不是？波类。
今天还会这么多次。我讲他今天会这么多次。
我要跟你秀一下我的马来语 ，Terima kasih。Satu dua tiga。
还有啥？还有nasi lemak。
nasi lemak，ayam penyet。
还有什么啊？
Beef rendang。